Hi, friends. This is the reading lesson for third grade. We are going to read an informational science text called One Body, Many Adaptations. Please make sure that you have your booklet open to page 22. You have a pencil and you also have a highlighter. Today, we are going to focus on three different animals and how they survive and live in their habitat. Okay, we're going to learn about how they camouflage, what they have on their body, and what special body parts they have in order to help them survive. Today, we are going to read the introduction, and we will also read about the octopus and the penguin. And then tomorrow, we will read about the camel, and we will also read the conclusion. So if you're ready, we will go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to have you practice highlighting on your own today. So what we're going to do is you are going to read, or I'll have the computer read you the paragraphs, and then you will pause the video and go through and highlight what you think is important from that section. Okay, so here we go.
Extended Read 2. Remember to annotate as you read.
One Body, Many Adaptations by Judy Black. Animals live in many different places. Some animals live in hot deserts. Others live in frigid oceans. However, all have become adapted to where they live. Where an animal lives determines its adaptations. Animals rely on these special features to survive. Adapted body parts are called structural adaptations. An animal might use body covering, camouflage, and special body parts to survive. The octopus, the penguin, and the camel are animals with many structural adaptations.
The octopus's body covering helps it hide.
Okay, so we're going to stop there. We're going to go through and highlight some important details in the first two paragraphs. Now, remember, when you highlight, you do not want to highlight every single thing, and you don't have to highlight a whole sentence. You can just highlight phrases or a few words from each sentence. So go ahead and pause the video and highlight in paragraphs 1 and 2. Okay, so I'm going to go through and highlight some things. Your highlights do not have to be the same as mine, but if you agree with some of the things I'm saying, then you can go ahead and highlight them as well. So we know that we are learning about animals and that animals live in different places, right? So they all have their own habitats. But where they live determines what kind of adaptations they have, right? So right here it says all have become adapted to where they live. Where an animal lives determines their adaptations. Okay, so they really rely on their adaptations or special features to help them survive. So kind of some big important things right there. We know that animals use body covering, camouflage, and special body parts to survive. These are called structural adaptations. So those body parts that adapt are called structural adaptations. So please, please, please make sure you highlight that part. Okay, we're going to go on to the octopus. Once we are done reading all three of our sections today, we're going to go back and we're going to write some main ideas. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep reading.
The octopus. The octopus lives in the ocean. Its body is very soft and slimy. This slimy exterior lets an octopus slide into small spaces between rocks on the ocean floor. Its body covering helps the octopus hide from its predators. The octopus also uses camouflage to survive. There are many different colors on the ocean floor. To blend into its surroundings, the octopus has projections sticking out of its skin and special color-changing skin cells. Within 1 second, its body can match the colors, patterns, and textures around it. The octopus is much like the chameleon in this way.
Wow. Did you know that? That the octopus is similar to the chameleon in the way that it camouflages and blends into its surroundings? Pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and have it read the caption really quick.
The projections on this giant octopus help it blend into its surroundings.
Okay, I want you to go through these two paragraphs and highlight what you learned and find to be important about the octopus. Please pause the video. All right, so you might want to start by highlighting that the octopus lives in the ocean. That is its habitat, right? And we know that its body is very soft and slimy, and the sliminess, so the slimy exterior, which is outside, or allows an octopus to slide between rocks on the ocean floor. Have you ever been to the tide pools? I've seen an octopus kind of slide in between rocks when they see people coming at them, or maybe the aquarium. I think they have octopuses there too. You can kind of watch them do that. So that helps them hide from their predators, right? And then it goes on to talk about the camouflage. So they blend into their surroundings by having projections that stick out of their skin and a special color changing skin cells. Wow, fascinating, right? Um, I just the fact that animals can do this, their bodies can just change colors just like that is just amazing. All right, let's turn the page. And now we're going to read about like the specific body parts of the octopus and how it helps him or her survive.
Body parts to survive. An octopus's body has several parts that help it survive too. Its best-known body parts are its 8 arms with suction cups. An octopus uses its arms for moving, hunting, eating, tasting, and even mating. If it loses an arm, no problem. Another arm will grow in its place. To get away from a predator, an octopus will squirt black ink from its body. The predator cannot see. Then the octopus can escape unnoticed. An octopus also has a body part that helps it escape quickly. A funnel-shaped tube shoots out water that helps propel the octopus. The octopus mainly eats shellfish. It uses its mouth to hold down prey and to eat. Its powerful beak-like jaws break open the shells. Its razor-sharp tongue scoops the animals out.
Okay, so we learned about a few different body parts of the octopus that help it survive. Why don't you pause the video right now and go through and highlight what you learned about those important body parts and how they help them survive. So in paragraph 5, it talks about its 8 arms with suction cups. They use their arms for moving, hunting, eating, tasting, and mating. And if it loses an arm, it just grows another one. Kind of crazy, like those shark teeth. Do you guys remember that? Okay. Another thing it talks about is this black ink that it can squirt, right? So the octopus has a funnel shaped tube that shoots out water to help propel the octopus. So that helps it get away. And it has that black ink. Okay, pretty cool. Then, one other thing, it eats shellfish. So it needs something to help break open those shells. So it says it has powerful beak like jaws to break open the shells. And then it has a razor sharp tongue to scoop the animals out. So this little chart down here kind of explains the different adaptations of an octopus. So it has camouflage. So it has color cells in its skin and projections on its skin, which helps it blend in with the colors and the textures around them. They have 8 arms with suction cups that help them move, hunt, eat, taste, and mate. They have black ink that block the predator's sight. They have a funnel which squirts water to help them move fast. And then they have a beak to open the shells and hold down prey and eat. Then we learned on the page before this about their body covering, that it's soft and slimy and it's able to help them squeeze into tight places. So many fascinating things about an octopus. All right, let's keep reading. Our next animal is penguin. All right, here we go.
The penguin. Penguins mostly live in very cold places, such as Antarctica. These flightless birds swim a lot. They spend more than half of their time swimming in icy ocean waters. Predators fly above them and swim below them. So, how does the penguin survive these challenges? Adaptations. First, the penguin's body covering helps it survive in cold places. Under its skin, the penguin has a layer of fat called blubber. This layer keeps the penguin warm. So do its feathers. Like the duck, the penguin has oil on its feathers to keep its skin dry and warm. Next, the penguin uses camouflage to survive. Its coloring helps keep it safe. The penguin's black back blends in with the dark water. This makes it hard for predators flying above to spot a penguin swimming. Its white belly blends in with the snow and sunlight. This white coloring makes it hard for predators swimming below to spot them.
Penguins' black and white coloring is good camouflage on land, above, and in the water, below.
All right. So penguins are also such a fascinating animal. We learned they live in Antarctica and they have a few different things that help them survive in this very cold place. So take a moment, pause the video, and highlight what you find to be important in these 3 paragraphs. All right. So we probably should highlight that penguins mostly live in cold places such as Antarctica. We learned that they swim a lot in icy ocean waters. So their predators are actually flying above them and swimming below them. So they have to have things that'll help them not be seen. So we learn about the body covering of a penguin, right? The body covering helps it survive. It has blubber, like other animals that live in the Arctic, and it keeps the penguin warm, right? And then they have feathers that keep the skin dry and warm. So even though they spend most of their life in the water, their special feathers help keep them dry and warm. Then the next paragraph goes on to talk about how they use camouflage. So it says, penguin uses camouflage to survive. The coloring keeps it safe. So they have 2 colors. They have black and they have white. So the white is on like the underside of their body when they're swimming, and the black is what the predators would see from above when they are swimming. So it says the penguin's black back blends in with the dark water. So predators from above can't see them. But then their white belly blends in with the snow and sunlight that if they were looking from if someone was looking under the penguin. Okay? So pretty fascinating with these penguins and their colors. So go ahead and turn the page, and we're going to read a couple more paragraphs about the penguin, and then we're going to go back and write our main ideas. So we're going to read body parts to survive. So not only do they have camouflage and blubber, they also have some body parts that help them survive.
Body parts to survive. Penguins have wings, but they can't fly. Instead, their wings work like flippers to help them swim. Penguins, like ducks, also have webbed feet for better swimming. Penguins do not have teeth. Their bill is hooked at the end to catch prey. They then swallow their food whole. Penguins only swim in salt water. When they catch their food, they take in salt water. Penguins have a special gland in their body that filters excess salt.
King penguins grab food with a hooked bill.
Okay, so penguins have some interesting body parts that help them survive. So we know that penguins have wings and they are a flightless bird, which means they can't fly. But their wings, whoops, their wings work like flippers to help them swim. And they have webbed feet that also help them swim. And then we learn about their teeth and how they catch their food. Well, or their lack of teeth, right? So they don't have teeth, but they do have a little like hook at the end of their bill to catch their prey. They swallow their food whole because they don't have any teeth, right? And they have, since they only swim in salt water, if you take in too much salt, even a person, it's not good for your body. So penguins have a special gland in their body that helps them get rid of that extra salt that they don't need. Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and let's review this chart right here. So the penguin has camouflage. We learned about that. A black belly to blend in with the dark water when seen from above, and a white belly to blend in with snow from sunlight when it's seen from underwater. We know about their body parts. They have flipper wings to help them swim, webbed feet to help them swim, a bill with a hook at the end to grab their food, and a special gland to filter out the salt water. And then finally, their coverings on their body. So they have blubber to keep warm. They have tight layers of feathers to keep their body dry and warm. And they have the oily feathers to also keep them dry. So very, very fascinating here. Okay, so we're going to go back to page 22, and we are going to write 3 main ideas. So let me get my pencil ready. So going back to paragraphs 1 and 2, look over your highlights. We learned that animals rely on adaptations to survive in their environments, right? That's like the biggest thing. That's what this whole informational text is about. So that's what we're going to write right here. So we'll write animals rely on their structural adaptations, which is what we learned about, to help them survive in their habitats. Whoops. So that is our first main idea. If you need to pause the video, please do that now. Otherwise, we're going to move on. We're going to write our next main idea on page 24. So on page 24, we learned, well, and on page 23. So we learned that octopuses use camouflage, special body parts, and body covering to help it survive in its ocean habitat. So that's what we're going to write. We're not going to get into all of the details of their camouflage body parts and body covering because that is what we highlighted. So in octopuses, oops, the octopus owns what I'm about to say, body covering, comma, body parts, and camouflage help it survive in the ocean. That is its habitat. Okay, now we're going to go to page 26. We're going to write one more main idea, but this time you are going to do it on your own. So you are going to pretty much write, we use these three words, and we talked about a penguin or about the octopus. So we said an octopus's body covering, body parts, and camouflage help it survive in the ocean. So your job is going to be to write a very similar main idea, except this time you're talking about the penguin. Okay, don't forget to say what its habitat is. Remember, they swim in cold, icy water. If you are in Mrs. Peterson's class, you are going to submit a Canvas assignment answering, sharing with me what your main idea is. Mrs. Smith may or may not have you do the same thing. So go ahead and write your main idea about penguins. Don't forget to include their habitat and talk about what they use, their adaptations, camouflage, body parts, body covering. Remember, you do not have to be specific. This is just the main idea. Your specific things are all highlighted. Okay, great job today, friends. We will finish this story tomorrow. Goodbye.